Our objective today is the triangle sum theorem and the exterior angle theorem. Definitions. An acute triangle is where all the interior angles of that triangle are less than 90 degrees. An obtuse angle is when one of the interior angles of the triangle is greater than 90 degrees. A right triangle is when one interior angle of the triangle is equal to 90 degrees. A scalene triangle is when all three sides of the triangle are different lengths. An isosceles triangle is when two sides of the triangle are the same length. And because of that, your two base angles are going to be congruent. An equilateral triangle is when all the sides of the triangle and all the angles are the same. So because all the sides are the same length, it makes the angle measurements the same as well. And the remote interior angles are two non-adjacent interior angles of the exterior. So they're not beside the exterior angle. BIC number 1. The triangle sum theorem states that all interior angles of a triangle add to 180 degrees. So when you add all the three angles that make up the triangle, you should get 180 degrees. The exterior, BIC number 2 is the exterior angle theorem, states that the measure of the exterior angle is the sum of the two remote interior angles. So whatever the exterior angle is, if you add the two remote interior angles, you should get the same number. So let's look at some examples of the triangle sum theorem. So here we have a triangle. This symbol right here represents a right triangle. So we automatically know that this angle is 90 degrees. So we now have a 90-degree angle, a 20-degree angle, and we're missing this top angle x. Well, the triangle sum theorem states that the interior angles added together should equal 180. So now we have 90 plus 20 plus the x angle that we don't know should equal 180. Well, 90 plus 20 is 110 plus x is 180. Well, now we need to get x by itself, so we would subtract 110 on both sides, and so x should be 70 degrees. And if we check, 70 plus 90 plus 20 does equal 180. Let's look at the second one. Here, these lines tell us that this is that they are congruent. So this is an isosceles triangle, which means our two base angles should be congruent, which they are. We have 50 and 50. And we're looking for this top angle. Well, we know that they should add up to 180. So we have 50 plus x should equal 180. Well, 50 plus 50 is 100, plus x is 180. Now we need to get x by itself, subtract 100 on both sides, so the x angle is 80 degrees. And let's look at number 3. Here we have a scalene triangle. All three sides are different lengths. And they gave us, and it's also an obtuse angle, or triangle, because one of our angles is greater than 90 degrees. So we have 2, we need to find the third. So 120 plus 40 plus x is 180. 120 plus 40 is 160, plus x is 180. So when we subtract 160 from both sides, we should get x to be 20 degrees. So all of these, you add them up and set them equal to 180. So let's look at how we can apply the triangle sum theorem to our parallel lines cut by a transversal that we have already talked about. So here we have two parallel lines and we have two transversal lines. We have AB and then BC. So these lines, and it ends up making a triangle. And so we want to use our properties and our vocabulary from parallel lines cut by a transversal to solve what angle A, angle B, and angle C are. Well, if you notice, we have this angle is 70, we have angle B and angle 60. Well, when these angles make a straight line. They make one of our parallel lines, which means these angles are supplementary. They add to give me 180. So I can say 70 plus angle B plus 60 should give me 180 degrees. So we have 70 plus 60 is 130, plus angle B is 180. Subtract 130 from both sides. So I get angle B to be 50 degrees. So we now know that angle B is 50 degrees. So now, if we know angle B, we need to find A and C. Well, using our properties of parallel lines, if you ignore this transversal and just look at this one, this 70-degree angle and angle A are both interior angles, and they're opposite of the transversal, which makes them alternate interior angles. Well, alternate interior angles are congruent. So since this is 70 degrees, then angle A is also 70 degrees because of the alternate interior angles. So now we know that this is 70 degrees. Well, the triangle sum theorem states that 3 angles that make up a triangle add to 180. We now know 2 of them, so we should be able to find the third. So angle A is 70, angle B was 50, plus angle C, which we do not know, should equal 180. Well, 70 plus 50 is 120, plus angle C is 180. Now we need to get C by itself. Subtract 120. So C is 60 degrees. So our triangle has a 50 degree, a 70 degree, and a 60 degree angle. And so you can use all of these vocabulary in the theorem to find your missing angles. Now we're going to look at exterior angles. So exterior angles, remember, are on the outside. And so when we talk about triangles, interior angles are the inside angles. Exterior is the angle that is made from a line and the end of the triangle. So for example, angle 3. So angle 3 is an exterior. Well, angles 1 and 2 are remote interior because they are not adjacent, meaning not beside angle 3. So they're over here. And they're inside the triangle. So they're interior angles and they're remote because they're not beside angle 3. So they're always the farthest angles away from your exterior angle. And therefore, because angle 1 and 2 are remote interior angles to angle 3, if we were to add 1 and 2 together, you should get the measurement of angle 3. So let's look at some examples to explain that exterior angle theorem. So here we have a triangle, and we have that our x is the exterior angle. And so then 60 and 45 are interior angles that are remote to exterior to this x angle because they are interior and not beside the exterior angle. So we know if we add them together, it should equal the exterior angle. So 60 plus 45 is 105. So the sum of our remote interior angles is equal to your exterior angle. So my exterior angle is 105 degrees. In example 2, we're going to work backwards. So we know that the exterior angle is 80. And the sum of our remote interior angles should be equal. So our remote interior angles is x and 30 because they are on the inside of the triangle and not beside this 80-degree exterior. So if x plus 30 should equal my exterior angle of 80. Well, now I can subtract 30. So x is 50 degrees. So we now know that x is 50 degrees. Well, they want us to find x and y. Well, now that I know two of these angles, I can find the third using the triangle sum theorem, because three angles of a triangle should add to 180 degrees. So you now have 30 plus 50 plus y should equal 180. Well, 30 plus 50 is 80, plus y is 180. Subtract 80 on both sides, so y is equal to 100 degrees. So now we also know that y is 100 degrees.